Hello again. I am going to do now, in one of my unboxings, since Halloween is getting so close, we're now in October. A lot of us back in the early days would collect records, haunted house records and stuff. Well, I'm one of those fanatics that has probably over 100 CDs with sound effects. But I want to show my original record collection of some of the records I have. I mean, I have a couple more. I'm not sure where they are. Again, as I'm going through all my stuff, I'm bringing to you up-to-date material of stuff I'm finding. Okay, now this is just general stuff. The heavy collectors are coming as soon as I start finding them, right? Okay, so I'm going to show here my LPs. The LPs that scare the heck out of me. The one here first is called Great Ghost Stories. Okay, beautiful cover album. Early 70s, give or take. That's the back of the record. This one has a beautiful cover. It's called Halloween Horrors. Look at that. And look at the back. I mean, this is a really nice album. Now, the album itself, this one, the condition is not as great as I want it to be. But it doesn't matter, and I'll show you why. Here's another one, really great condition. Thrillers and Chillers. Okay? Then I have, this is, I'm sure it was sold in a lot of stores and stuff. Ghostly Sounds. Great album. Back cover is actually even better than the front cover, I think, It's got a beautiful little haunted house there. Sold in Famous Monsters. They used to come in sets of 4. I don't know what the other 2 are, but it's called Lights Out is one of them. And this is The Witch's Tale. You see, the guy has 6 fingers. See what I'm saying? Pretty cool album. This one's in really good condition overall. The album, everything is really nice. But guess what? Why get one when you can have 2, right? Here's a second one to that. This one is not in the greatest condition. It has a little fading and warping, but that's, you're looking at a very old record here. So then we have the second part. Not actually, this is not the second part. This is another record. Frankenstein. Look at that. Beautiful cover, right? I think this one opens up. I think, in fact, look, it's a 2-record set. Wow. Frankenstein, my favorite. This is in really beautiful condition, and I want to keep it that way. Well, like I said, who cares if one is in bad condition? You always get 2, right? Here's my second one of this. And I have a feeling there's a couple more that are going to appear somehow in the next few days, because every week I'm coming over here to unbox things. Now, this is another one. Fright Night. Pretty nice album, right? Fright Night. Then we have the famous Monster Mash and Sounds of Terror. There's the back. See? Then we have Sounds to Make You Shiver. Okay? Look at the back of that. Great artwork, man. This is beautiful. I like this record. It's got a lot of... And of course, being a Casper fanatic growing up, who's not going to have his own Casper album, right? In fact, I have more than a couple. Sound Effects, Death, and Horror. This one here, has King Kong there. Joe, you like King Kong? There's King Kong in the background, see? But the album itself, it's the King Kong makes it look... The King Kong is nice, but this center part, I don't really like it that much. It's okay. The Monster Mash. Remember the Monster Mash? He did the Graveyard Smash. Anyway, not a great singer, am I right? Here's the Monster Mash. Then again, why not get more than one? You got to have a second. You never know what can happen, right? The Monster Mash and Sounds of Terror. Now look at this one. Ghost Story, still sealed. Another really nice album. This one here, to be honest with you, I don't remember exactly when I got it. The strange, the weird. That looks like the movie from Lon Chaney Sr., London After Midnight. That's what it looks like. Or, it could be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I don't really know. but it's kind of hard to make. Look at this one, Ghouls Music. This is another one of those that appear in Famous Monsters. Okay. Then we have, well, this is not scary, but it deals, this is the Flying Saucer Story. Look at this beautiful art, man. Okay, this one is really a nice album. This one's in top condition. I like that one a lot. And who's not gonna remember this one, brother? Limited edition of Forbidden Planet. This one here, of course, is open because I couldn't keep a shot. I had to listen to it, I don't just collect. I gotta enjoy my collection, right? And of course, I'm also showing some classics here. This ones are not horror, but Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You guys remember when this album came out? It opened up and it had the Close Encounter thing. Does you remember that? Okay, nice, beautiful album. Here is Walt Disney's Chilling Thrills of the Haunted House. But I'm going to put this one to the side here. I'll explain why. And then, of course, another Casper. I told you I was a Casper collector. I like Casper. See the little guy back there? Although my favorite was kind of Spooky. I think Spooky was a little better. Okay, this one I'm going to put on the side here because it's not one of them. Okay. I'll show this one because it's a unique one. Not every Jimmy Nelson's ventriloquist. How to become a ventriloquist. Danny O'Day and Pharrell in the front there. It's a very old album on how to become a ventriloquist. But then I have here later on I'm going to do a segment, but this is like hypnotism and stuff like that. It's kind of mixed in, so I didn't. Look at this one. Look how beautiful this cover is. The Shadow, original radio broadcast. But this right here, if you can see it, it's a beautiful cover, man. Really nice cover, like that. Not horror, but I think it was worth showing. This is one of my James Bond. I have a whole collection of them. But anyway, the reason I kept the one from the Disney is because, and here you go again. Alright, here is some more, which is another little Casper. This is a 45 Casper. Well, now this is a 78, so this is really old, but it's called Dance Macabre, A Night on Bold Mountain. See? You can see it's in pristine condition, that particular album. And it's got a nice cover if you look at the artwork. Let me see if I don't know if you can. Of course, I have this here in the way here, so let's see if you could see it. It's really pretty nice. They did a good job on that cover. Now, this is a classic, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this album. The famous Monsters Speak. Of course, it has a Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi in the cover there. And then the back has more. I have a couple of these. I would say about 3 or 4 of them. I don't know exactly why, but I think I bought them because it does resemble the 6-foot monsters, that I sell. I think the artwork is kind of similar because it's done. But anyway, here's why I kept the Haunted House. When I was growing up, the very first album I ever bought, I bought it in a store called Two Guys. That was in New Jersey and New York. We had quite a few of them. And what made Two Guys really special was that they always had a section of arcade games inside the store. So as a kid, my mom, every time she went there, she dropped me off and my cousin in the arcade section. And, I would play with the original arcade. Now, back in the 70s, we didn't have Atari, of course. The arcades we had were interesting. Like the one I remember had a car. There would be, you would sit down in a chair and the car would be on a stick. There's like a little red car, and then the background would move. And when you hit something, a light will go poof, like you crashed, and the light behind the car. So those are the original video games I played, but I love them though. But anyway, I came across one day an album that my friend Albert used to have. And, because he had it, of course, I wanted it. But it was this album right here. It's the chilling, thrilling sounds of the haunted house. And it has inside spooky party hints. And then it says here lies a most terrific collection of recorded sounds. Okay? Now here's the killer with this. The back, look how beautiful that is. This album, what made it special is when you opened up inside, most of them had this party hints thing here, see? It would show you how to do, party tricks and stuff. But I was terrified of listening to this album. Once I did listen to it finally, I think it took over a year before I actually was able to have the courage to listen to it. I was, I don't know, 7, 8. But when I finally listened to it, okay, to me, any record out there that's a haunted house or sound effects has to somehow, for me, has to sound like this. It sounds crazy, but I use this as a standard for what my favorite record would be. And I'll explain to you why, which is bizarre. Because of loving this record so much, there's not one copy or two, but I believe I have, and I always have the white cover, which is exactly the same thing, only white. I have over 18, maybe 20 of these records. There's even one that was done in England, which that one I have 2 copies of. It's got a gorgeous cover of a haunted house. It's not the same cover. It looks more like a Victorian mansion. That particular one, I don't know exactly where I put it, but I put it away very well because it's a rare copy. You don't really get them on eBay anymore. And it's the same sound thing, whatever, but I guess it was sold over in England and stuff. Now, there was also a later version of it, which is this one, right? Again, it's the same exact record, but look how beautiful this cover is, right? But still, to me, you can defeat the orange cover. So I guess you might say I really like the record when, it's 1, 2, 3. This 2 is 5. But the ones I have just the orange cover, I have about 18, I think. And I bought them sealed, never opened. I have about 4 of those. I got the one that's a white cover sealed. I got 2 of one of them is sealed with that special edition I told you. And then I also got about 3 of the smaller, same thing, the Haunted Mansion, But it's a book, and then it has the record in the back, right? This one's due about $30, $40 on eBay, But anyway, the story as I was telling with the particular Disney Haunted House record is that you hear the sound even when you go to the Haunted Mansion, where it's kind of like a ghost where it goes like and then it screams like a cat or something like that. And it's also in a famous Disney film called Lonesome Ghost. Lonesome Ghost, I think it is, where Mickey Mouse and I think Donald Duck and stuff go to investigate a hauntings in a mansion, and they play that sound, the 3 ghosts in there. And it's in this thing now. Because of this album, that I didn't have the courage to listen to it, the haunting in comic books that said invite your friends over with for a haunting that had the ghoul, man, couldn't get myself to ordering that book. I wanted to order it, but at the same time I was terrified. So I wish I would have ordered it when I had the chance for $1 instead of paying, I think I paid like $80 for my first copy. And of course, I didn't buy just 1 copy, I bought like 4, right? And then the Johnson Smith record, which again I bought as an adult because as a kid I was afraid to send away for it. I have, I don't know, probably, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 copies. 2 of those copies are with the 7-foot ghost, the John Smith ghost. And the reason I put 2 is because there were 2 versions of it. The 1973, there was one, it wasn't banned, but I think I forgot exactly what one does that the other one doesn't. So I have the 2 versions of that record in sealed, so, with the ghost. But I also do have those 2 versions somewhere open, between here and my house and my storage facility, because not everything is over here in this area. I still have a 10 by 12 storage facility that's packed. And I'm coming across, because I'm looking at all the boxes. I've been opening boxes I haven't touched in 10 years. And the reason I'm doing it is to bring it to you guys, so that you guys see what it's like to collect and what my life revolves around when I'm at home. I have been collecting since I guess 6.5, 7. Everything I kept. I did have a fire one time that I lost, and praise Jesus on that I could say that I was able to recover most of my collection. Of all the collections I have, I gravitate a lot to the original monsters like Frankenstein and Dracula. I hate horror films. I don't really watch any. I do love the horror films from the 1950s and 40s and stuff, and 60s. I love watching that stuff because it's just a totally different monster. Today, to me, I don't like the films they make today, from Halloween to whatever, because they're too like violent. It's the same thing over and over. They just don't have come on, man, come out with a better storyline at least. I have watched Halloween and stuff, and Silent Scream, but you see, Silent Scream was done in the 70s, and I guess what really turned me off to a lot of those movies of horror is when I was young and I watched that movie Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, the first one back in the 70s, not the new remake. And it scared me enough that I kind of hated it. And to be honest with you, when I saw Abbott and Costello and Hold That Ghost is one of my favorite. Gosh, I think I sometimes might even like it more than, it's crazy to say that, than Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. But when I saw Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein and Bela Lugosi going, "Come," it really scared me, man. I couldn't sleep at night. My grandfather, I remember, would take a chair and sit down in my room until I fell asleep. And the funny thing about it is that in New York, where I grew up, we had a 3-bedroom, but what they used to do in order to keep a person happy, like me, I was terrified, right? In the living room, my grandfather's room was right next to adjacent to the living room, like right next door. And what I'm saying is, there were 2 doors that would open up into my grandparents' room. And right outside those doors, they put a curtain across, and they made my room in there, with the curtain separated the living room from my room there, right? And then, of course, as I grew older, I went into my other room. But I was still terrified, man. When the lights went out, bro, I really wanted someone to stay and watch me. And my grandfather would usually stay with me, or my grandma, but man, I covered my head and I would only leave like my nose and eyes out and my mouth to breathe. But I was terrified, man. And it's funny when you look back at the time, because you're like, what the heck were you scared about? But one of the things that did it was this orange album with the haunted house. And I look at it. I've gotten photographs of this. I was even one time trying to obtain the actual artwork for this, but I couldn't even know who the heck had it. Some person years ago made a 3D model of this, like a 3D rendition of it, 3D rendition, and you could print it out. And I did. I printed it out, and oh my gosh, I blew it up like this. But what I think adds to the image that's scary is that there's something different about this haunted mansion. You see, this haunted mansion, although it doesn't really resemble any of the Walt Disney's haunted mansion when you see them. You see how the river looks here like it's running? there's a realistic feeling to this photograph, okay? And that feeling it's a scary feeling, it's like you're in a house that has a cemetery in the front yard, like what houses have cemetery in the front yards, and the trees. But I just love this album, man. I can't buy enough of them, to be honest with you, and I can hear it a million times. The Haunted House. Now look at it, this particular, this one here came, but see, it doesn't have the insert that the other one has. But I thought I'd show you guys some of the albums I've come across. Now, I do have probably another 100 of them. I do have the 4, like the Lights Out one that I showed you. That was, I think it came in 4 parts. You can see them in Famous Monsters being advertised. I have all 4 of them. Here I apparently have 2 of the same. I'm just looking through things. I'm not, I don't know what they are. I put things in boxes, and whatever fits in a box I put. No, I haven't kept track of it. I know what I have. Most of the time I buy things because I don't realize I already have them, and then go, oh my God, I have 2 of these. This is what happened with this one here. I never really realized I had like 2 or 3, and I went to a convention and and actually spent over $40 for one when I had 3 already, but I don't know, whatever. You go to a convention, you got to buy some. You can't come home without buying anything. Otherwise, where would you go in the convention, right? You call that as a special time that you go and spend whatever money, even if it's $1,000, you don't care. You're enjoying yourself, and it is. Now, I do wish that my collection was more easy to handle, to manage, because today I've been here since about 10 o'clock this morning trying to organize the room that is on my website. When you go to houseoftheunusual.com, that tour thing there, I've been breaking into the boxes in the center and seeing what's in them. And I've made a mess, man. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at least another week or 2 just to repair the mess. But that's why today I actually did 2 videos. I did one with my grandson was helping me earlier, which showed some of the magic sets I have. Right after I did that, I discovered like another 6, and I'm like, man, I wish I would have put these on. But I also found that my original magic set that I thought I had, 100% complete, was missing a little ball in it. But but it was the condition of the box really sucked, And I paid over $100 for that 10, 15 years ago, and I never opened it from the black plastic that it had around, and it was sealed in there. Today I was kind of disappointed to find out how it is, but I've taken some time to try to organize it, put it really nice, and maybe use it. I don't know. I got to do something for it because the box is horrible. Maybe I'll try to get a second one if I can. But having said that, listen, guys, we have quite a few new members that have signed up for House of the Unusual. Now, again, when I'm saying signed up is you can sign up by subscribing to the channel. But you guys got to remember one thing. When you subscribe to the channel, you're able to put stuff in the forum. You're able to put stuff in the blog, communicate with one another, talk about stuff we like, we grew up with. If you just subscribe, then you're just in the subscription list. I'm going to probably send you, some emails and stuff like that. Not emails, but newsletters and stuff as to let you know what I'm doing. But I really would like a lot of more people to subscribe to the actual channel, because there's 2 things that you're going to. One is when you go to the channel, not only do you get to subscribe and be able to communicate or be able to chat with same like-minded individuals that collect stuff like we do, but you can also, there's a link right there to the podcast that comes out every Wednesday. Now, they were coming out Wednesday at 3 p.m. I found out that some of the listeners are going to the gym at 5, 6 in the morning. They want to listen to it. So I said, okay, I'll do it 3 a.m. then. So from now on, starting this week, it's going to air Wednesdays 3 a.m. So you'll be able to, if you want to listen to it, earlier. Now, because of the Halloween season coming up, we've decided to do the first episode is Urban Legends, and we went into some detail tonight. I did the episode earlier tonight. It's now almost 2 o'clock in the morning where I'm at. That's why if you see me overall, I've been working all day in the storage, taking stuff out, and it's not about appearance. It's about bringing to you guys quality stuff that you want to see. And it's fun to look at stuff that I have. Now, if anybody ever sees anything that they see me show here and you're like, hey, do you have one? Do you want to sell it? Drop a line. Maybe, who cares? Maybe I'll let it go. Like I said, my collection, I've been talking to David, and I've been talking to my son-in-law and stuff. I've been talking about maybe opening some warehouse somewhere where I can display all my stuff and, make a slight museum one day, because it'll be nice. Like, you cannot imagine, if I were to open all the boxes of all the toys I have, toys like the ones I have here in my little office here, like, Aurora models, Frankenstein models, King Kong models. I have an inflatable Hulk, for example, that's like 10 feet tall. And it was an item that Toys R Us displayed over 20 years ago. And you would win it if you whatever. I have a bunch of special edition Frankensteins, Draculas, inflatable, life size. I would love to bring that stuff out. I even have a Godzilla that's 16 feet tall and it's inflatable. Don't ask me how I got that. Don't even ask me why, because I don't even know if I could ever have a ceiling tall enough to even inflate that thing. But I bought it. Oh gosh, I got it on eBay a long time ago. I don't know if I'm saying 6. I think it's 12 feet, something like that. I'm sorry, but it is huge. Okay, so again, listen to the podcast. Tune in each week. Watch Joe, Todd, David, and myself. Now, I'm talking about Dave Harversat, who has an auction house. It's called Harversat and Ewing Auctions, or I think there's a link that I put in my last episode to it. And he also owns 1878 Press, where he publishes several books. And one final thing, guys. I'm listing it probably in the next day or two. The Haunted House Barometer. The house that when it rains, the woman comes out, which is the Banshee, or the Undertaker comes out. We have a limited of those of about 150. Once it's sold, I'm never making them again. And now the Halloween season's coming. You might want to have one in your home. Go through the Acme House novelty link. When you get to it, I think the link is going to link you to David's store, and you can basically look at the other items inside, and you'll find the house. But either way, though, I'm going to list the house through House of the Unusual, eBay, and I'm not going to put it, I think, on the website, because I want to just get rid of them. Like, I just wanted the most people that can see them. And when I'm putting on the website, if you notice, I added this week a whoopee cushion, which is like a display case. So you're not just getting the whoopee cushion, you're getting on a display case with, it's really nice with the whole history on it and stuff. It's a beautiful item, and it's, put it into a really nice unit for you guys. What I'm saying though is, I need to sell them because they're obviously a beautiful item, but they were very problematic to produce, and I'm not going to go through that again. The 7-foot Frankenstein, we're running out. There's very few left. So if you want to get the comic book version of the Frankenstein, the green one, the first time ever reproduced, I reproduced it 20-30 years ago in black and white, but reproduced in full color like the original on a waterproof canvas. It's beautiful. If you look at the House of the Unusual, you scroll down, I'm standing right in front of it, and I'm saying the story and showing it. I also have one of my videos on YouTube that you see me and David talking about it. You see it next to us. It's a great item, guys. For 89 bucks or 84, whatever the listing is, you'd be crazy not to get it. Because it's, believe me when I'm telling you, we're not making money on this. We just want to sell it and get it out to you guys. It's a special edition we did. Going forward, once the supply we have is sold out, the price is going to be like Boney right now. If you go to my site, you can buy Boney on the site. It's $149. The difference is one is done overseas. The other one will be done here. Overseas, you know, they, of course, you can. In the United States, everything's going to be double the cost because it's local. You know what I'm saying? They're printed. The ones overseas are printed on waterproof canvas. They're great. So get it now, because if you're going to want it a year from now, we're not going to have any. It's going to go for $149. Right now it's $84. I'm sorry. I think it's now. I kind of forgot if it's 84 or 89, but I think it's 84. Get them, okay? Because time is running out. Having said that, guys, till next time, this is Eddie. Thank you.